Hey, was that you first? Happy Friday, guys. What's up? I thought Eli was going to say a little something. I thought he was going to say a little hello there. He's not. Eli is, I don't know if you guys can, guess they can't see.
No.
Eli's running the show over here. Fat's got, this is a good point, too. So Fat's got some, traveling he's doing and some different projects that he's got going on for himself. So sometimes we're going to have to continue with podcast with the sound Asian. Continue with podcast. Have to continue with the podcast when Fat's out of town. So like great entrepreneurs, we're learning how to do this with the just you. And before you talk, don't even talk to me. We're learning because I got a good compliment. We're learning how to do this on our own. In addition to like, well, so when Fat's gone, we're learning how to produce and make sure that we're doing all this on our own. And I do pride myself on being a great leader, so I feel like the delegation process of me making sure that you have all of it's in front of you and I do fucking nothing. I take pride in that.
You talk, bro. That's important. So before we get too far into it, guys, if you haven't subscribed to us on iTunes, I know we stream this on Facebook and YouTube as well. Check out our YouTube channel. But if you aren't in front of your phone or watching us at your computer in our video, definitely head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast from, and subscribe to us there because we're definitely on all the platforms.
Does this go live on YouTube as well?
Yes.
So we're live on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
That is some shit.
Yep.
We're not a big deal, but it makes me kind of feel like it.
Right? We'll get there someday, bro.
I like it.
Yeah. What are we talking about today? Will's ready to give me some shit today.
That's not listen. That's not true. That's not true. Didn't we say that last time when you were like, yeah, we're talking some shit today? I said, no.
Yeah, what ended up happening the whole podcast? We just talk shit the whole damn time. I know what's coming.
Look, I don't like this. Psychologically, right? I'm a big psychological kind of guy. I don't know what that means. I know what it means. I don't know what it means for me. Ever since you got that controller in your hand, you've been talking trash. Like, what happened the whole time? What happened the whole time? You just talked.
It's been an episode and a half.
You answered it. You see how you didn't even let me answer? You just answered it. So just get ready. Maybe some people are proud or excited.
Yeah.
Get ready for a lot more Eli
on
this podcast.
No way. Whatever.
Today we're talking about, if it's okay, may I? Today we're talking about how to stand out.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, right, we're going to try to dive into some layers here. Like, what do you mean stand out? That's what we're going to talk about. Eli was kind of breaking the rules a little bit. Him and I usually converse about the topic, but we don't go too far because we do like to have our thought process recorded, right? Because I think part of the learning process not only is to just hear what we have to say and then food for thought for you. I also like you guys also being able to hear how our thought process unfolds. Like, where does it start? Where does it finish? Where does it go? Where do they take it? I like that. So whether you agree with our opinion or not, I like the fact that you can hear a thought process unfold and you can hear people communicate, and whether they argue it out or talk it out, discuss it out. Because sometimes you and I don't always agree, or we agree, or it's neutral where like we see things differently. For example, the name Day 1 $0. That was literal for me. I was in a pantry on my day one in $0 of real estate, man. Like I was still studying and I was right. Hey, day one. And I've made $0 in this industry. So it was very literal. And then you're like, yeah, man. But so, hey, how I see that for me is very ideological. Like, how do I approach every day? Like, so sometimes it's not even about whether we agree or not. It's just opening this platform up to different thought processes,
just different angles,
different perspectives and angles. And I hope when you're listening, you're also, even though like, yep, we can't hear you. You're in your car or on the shitter, but I hope that you do have your own perspective or your own angle or your own thought processes on whatever topic we're discussing. I hope that comes out. But today, Eli broke the rules a little bit. He started elaborating on the topic, which made me just know. I'm like, dude, you're already trying to defend yourself. You're jumping the gun. You're trying to pre-feed thoughts to me. Not fair. Not okay. So yeah, we might have a little debate today.
Well, and we're not gonna have a debate today. There's nothing to debate over, as you guys will see. And well, and I agree on fucking everything. But like he said, God damn it. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one here. This is gonna be a fun one here.
Oh, I'm all for it.
So part of what I'm excited about today is what I like doing is kind of looking at what him and I do naturally in business and naturally just with our personalities, and try and reverse engineer. All right, what is it that we're doing that's making us successful? And then how do we document it and package it up and present it in a way to you guys so that you guys can share in our success? Because I think there's a lot of successful people out there that just naturally do things that have led to their success, but they may not even know what those things are, right? Because they just naturally do them and they don't really realize that they're doing anything special. Kind of like a bodybuilder, like Kai Green's like lower lats, like insane lower lats, but it's like, is he intentionally doing that? Or does he just grab the bar in a certain way or put his hand in a certain position on the handle and just start rowing that it's just led to
Are those
big
tie-ins
lower lats?
genetic?
Could be. Yeah, but I'm just saying, is he doing something that's deliberate or is he just naturally doing something his own way, be it genetically or whatever, that has led to some good results in a certain area? So that's all I'm saying is, what are we doing and how can we dissect that and break it down? So one of the things I think we do great is we're just different dudes, right? We do things different way.
No, we do. And I want to kind of give a little bit of context because I'm definitely a stronger personality. We're going to get into that. But I want you guys, when you're thinking about like, oh, how to stand out. Well, I'm not loud and I'm not an idiot like this dude. You're right. But there's definitely like standing out personality wise and bringing attention to yourself, whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but just overall bringing attention to yourself, right? And then they're standing out by the quality of work that you do. Okay, like you don't necessarily. So when you guys are listening to today's podcast and we're kind of going over different topics, understand that you don't necessarily have to be a loudmouth or cause a lot of attention. You don't necessarily have to act out of character or personality to be some spaz and create some cool, loud, energetic commercial. That's not what we mean. Yes, that is one form of getting attention. But the quality of work and the product you provide is where you're going to be the loudest. And my biggest point to Eli today when he was arguing with me in the car is that my thought is, no matter what, you got to be yourself. So
Yes.
can you bring more attention to yourself by self-promoting and marketing? And absolutely. If you're like us, where you've got a partner with some fun dynamic and some fun personality to it, you can kind of scale that. Yes, absolutely. However, if you ever meet someone who knows me off of this podcast or personally, I'm just like this in person. Everything that you guys hear, literally, like we do these podcasts in the middle of our day, and like we're going about deals and whatever we're doing, and like, yes, I don't necessarily. Well, no, I do say doggy style sometimes to clients, depending on the client. You just never know. You never know where the jokes go. We do a lot with our sphere, so shit, man, I can't even say that. The bottom line is, as much as we're having fun on this, I don't want people to think that you got to be us or have a strong personality or be super bold or aggressive as far as the attention you're trying to gain versus, how do you stand out with your product? And if you're the product, yes, we're going to talk about that. Or maybe you sell a product, whatever it may be. But I'm long-winded here. No, we don't mean be a loudmouth.
No, and actually, like there's everyone has like some unique thing to them or something that they do really well, and most people just don't even realize what it is.
Everyone?
No, okay. Most people have something that's unique to them that's just something that they're naturally good at. And part of what I want you guys to be doing during this podcast is when we're talking about kind of what we do that's led to our success, think about what that could be with you and how there might be a way that you could incorporate that into your marketing, into your product, into your videos, into your branding, into whatever it is that you're doing that's going to help separate you. Like what a guy comes to mind, he's a lender, super quiet guy, but his thing is analytics and numbers, and he's built his business in a way so that he's working Chris.
Don't know.
You know Chris? Yeah, we had lunch with him. But he's built his business in a way to where that's his market, and people come to him because he's the quiet numbers dude. Will's eyeing me. Remember Wahoo's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
It shouldn't take that long for me to remember you. We should talk to that guy. How to bring attention, Chris.
Yeah, no shit.
Maybe I paid for lunch. That's why.
Do you have the best like short-term memory though?
Wow. Wow.
It's not the first time that we've talked about something that happened like a week ago.
Get
and he
in
has
on this
no idea.
What? What are you talking about?
Dude, literally anything.
Anyone that knows me knows that my memory is phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially short term. No, cool cat. And being yourself. So for example, when I was arguing Eli, I said everyone has something unique to themselves. Like, no. However, everyone is unique. Okay. Like, so the more you can figure a way out to be yourself, like let's say you're an inspector, or you're a sewer guy, or you're an HVAC guy, whatever it may be, and you love Star Wars. Well, what the hell? So? Like, that literally has nothing to do with each other. But what if you love Star Wars so much that you just wanted to bring attention to Star Wars to more people, and if they'd never seen it, maybe they like you, and you just want to bring attention to, like, just sci-fi stuff and going to the conventions, and every time you did, like, an inspection or you did, like, an HVAC, maintenance call or whatever, you left, like, little, memorabilia of Star Wars with, like, a thank you note, and, hey, here's your inspection, appreciate you, you allowing me to inspect your home, with, like, a Star Wars thing, because you just want to bring more attention to it.
All his inspection reports would have to start in a home far, far away,
in a galaxy
far, far away.
Who knows, right? Like, and here's the deal: I'm being super extreme or super not corny on purpose because I want to be able to, like, hit my point here. The bottom line is, if you love being an inspector and helping people, and you love Star Wars, like, why can't they go together? And when they do, what you don't realize is over time, you're kind of leaving your mark.
Dude, you are. And now you're the Star Wars guy. Oh, yeah. I use that inspector. Oh, is that the Star Wars guy? Yeah, that's him. Dude, great way to do it.
Great way. Or having a partner, like Eli and I think what makes us unique, sometimes I have some funny one-liners. I can't remember any because my memory sucks. No pun intended. I guess there's one right there. But definitely, like, your overall service of just creating a story, creating a memory, creating something that just makes something stick to someone. So yeah, if you left a Star Wars memorabilia or a little bobblehead or whatever you did with it, people would remember you. I'm not saying that you got to do that, but people would remember you. So whatever your trademark can be, I don't know. I mean, you were bringing up CarMax earlier, where they said, hey, no questions asked. If in the first 7 days you change your mind, you can bring this car back, no questions asked. Take your trade-in back if you traded something in, all good, right? Like, that's kind of, now that's bigger because they've got money to financially carry that burden or whatever. But the point is, like, they're finding a way to be, so they're a car dealership. Yeah. Okay, what makes them unique? Well, they carry, one of the things they do is they carry everyone.
Yeah.
We carry all different sorts of cars.
Yeah.
You can come here, one-stop shop. True, but some other folks are kind of doing that too, and then they go another layer deep. Hey, we'll do this. So in the first 7 days, if you don't want it, even after you bought it, bring it back. And the longest I've ever heard was like 3 days. And they fuck with you. Right, I had a buddy do that.
Yep.
Not that I'm saying everyone does, but I've seen a bad story from that before, from a traditional dealership, when he turned it back in within 3 days. I don't know the whole story.
Here's where that's really useful is, Will and I, obviously, we're in real estate, so we get the benefit of being in a service-based industry to where the home that we're selling, that's not the product. Like, our job isn't to convince this person that they need a home. They need a home or they don't, right? What our job is to show them that we are the people who are professional and fun to work with, and that we're going to do such a kick-ass job for them that they want to work for us. So for us, more of the sell, per se, is with ourselves, our personality, and that's how we're trying to brand ourselves and stand out. If you are in a commodity-based business to where you're selling cars, you're selling a product, right, to where you're not necessarily a service-based industry where you need to sell yourself, although everybody, we've talked about this before, everybody, regardless of what industry you're in, even if you're in business or not, you have a personal brand. Keep that in mind. But to Will's point, if you have a commodity-based business, you need to find some sort of pitch or hook that you're willing to take on where people are just like, oh, damn, how can they do that? Now you become kind of the golden egg, because that's why they're coming to CarMax versus any of the other places, because they know they can take it back in the first 7 days, right?
Right. But we're also talking like small business and entrepreneurs and things like that. And they're like, oh, man, what can I do to make myself unique? I don't know. That's something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. Okay, that can be a hook. That can be, your Star Wars thing. So some, like, leaving your mark, that can be a hook of whatever the hook is. Or it can be something that's just constant. Like, for Eli and I think it's just our constant like just the way we take care of clients and make them feel comfortable and just that seamless process. But then there's always like some comedic banter back and forth of some type of like fun. And I think it's just the overall experience that you're able to bring when you go through transactions as a team, and you're constantly working with someone. I think it's stuff like that, man. And putting your client first, like we've talked about, like realtors deal a lot with discounts. Why they're not okay with them blows my mind. Especially, look, if you're not a top 1% producer in America, I have a heart, like, and I'm not, look, full disclosure, right? I'm not telling you what to do with your money, realtors, because realtors can also be like, stuck up about it. So please don't think I'm giving you advice. However, for me personally, I have a hard time swallowing you wanting to be full price when all you do is put it on the MLS and you share it on your Facebook. Cool. Like, are you doing like, because there's flat rate places that, okay, yes, they don't do open houses, and yes, they kind of, they
neither do you, not you, but neither do you, full price agent.
Right.
Yeah.
And, yes, these flat rate places, from my experience, yes, they stop working at 5 p.m., 6, whatever, right? So you can't submit offers late. Yes, sometimes they're not the best at communication, but they're not the worst.
Yep.
I've had worse. But, I mean, shit, man, they put it on the MLS. They throw in some social media target marketing. I mean, they take care of pay. Like, so if there's, I guess my point is, like, if there's someone out there to do the same thing you're doing for way cheaper, just like houses, okay? And this is where I start looking at some agents contradictory. If you had a seller that wanted to sell their house for $40,000 more than every comp in the neighborhood and nothing justified it, it was actually not even the best house in the neighborhood, would you allow that? No. However, you'll let a flat rate company do the same thing or more than you do, but for some reason you expect more money. Blows my mind.
Significantly more, like thousands and thousands more.
Here's why they can do it.
Yeah.
Because they'll do fucking 1,500 deals a year.
Yep.
Not 5. Okay, like they can do it because they understood, like, hey, we're going to do this and take significantly less, but we're going to give the same service relative. And here's the deal. If you're listening and you're a broker in Colorado and you're like, hell no, they're not better. Look, you and I have probably done 9 deals with one company specifically and some with some other ones, but one specifically in Colorado. They're not terrible. I'm not vouching for it. I'm not saying that's the way to go. I don't think it's the way to go. However, if I had to grade my experiences, and this is just me, right? If I had to grade my experiences with every other realtor I've dealt with, that flat rate company would not be at the bottom. So again, right? Like if you're not doing anything different, but someone is out there doing the same amount of work you are or more, better for cheaper, why are you higher price? So the same thing with like a listing, right? Like if your client wants to be more expensive, $40,000, like significantly more, because it's a significant change with these flat rate companies, right? So if they want to price their house significantly higher, but there's no justification to it, matter of fact, they're not even better than the highest one in the neighborhood, you're going to tell them, like, look, you don't dictate price. Market does. Okay, realtor, you don't dictate price, bitch. Market does. So if there's a company out there that's going to do just as good as you, if not better, okay, for half the price or more than or less than half the price, you don't dictate that anymore. Market does. And guess what? People are using those companies. That's why they do 2,000 transactions a year. Okay, like they're going to them. Now, you can't control that, but market dictates, as in the customer. When I say market, okay, the customer dictates. That's what market is. So, yeah, go ahead and put your house on the market for 40 grand higher.
See what happens.
Won't sell. Whether you like it or not won't happen. Okay, go ahead and be super full price and never give anyone a discount, right? Even though there's companies better than you that are doing it for less than half, they're just going to take them. Like, you're going to lose, okay? So I'm not saying be a discount realtor. I'm not saying not to be. What I am saying is evaluate that, and if you are going to be full price or close to it, or if you give discounts, they're not very significant, okay. I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. I will say that dollars are backed by value. If there is value you are providing a client, awesome. Because now you can justify why you cost more. Because, yes, not to get specific, there are things about some of these flat rate companies I do not like. Me personally, No, I would not list, knowing what I know now, not just because I'm partial, I would not list my house with a flat rate company. There are some people in those offices that are not as experienced as they should be. They do overprice the fuck out of houses because they're expecting you to negotiate it, which can let your house sit longer than it should in the first place. Like, some of their tactics are not the best. However, some people don't care because they're paying them $2,000 to do it. So again, right, like if you're going to be full price, or if you do give discounts, it's very minimal. Okay, I'm not saying don't. However, you got to make sure that you're bringing value there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to justify why you're more.
Yep. And if you do expect to to not be that discount agent, you have to look for ways, and a lot of times it's ways that you wouldn't think, to bring more value to your client. Like if you're a buyer agent, right? Like, sure, your buyers aren't paying you, but does that mean that they should not get a phenomenal freaking experience? Like, just something as little as, okay, we're going to meet up with them at their first home, and you're hitting them up, or you already know because you pay attention and you ask questions in your buyer prezo. Hey, what's your favorite coffee? What's your favorite Starbucks? Oh, do you like Monster or Red Bull, right? And then showing up for those 5 showings on that Saturday with their favorite caffeine and a bottle of water, and something for the little kiddos, so when their kids are going around the house with them, that they've got something to play with, right? Like, there's all sorts of ways that you and your company can differentiate yourself.
I like that.
Just little things, man.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're good. You're good.
I just drank some Monster.
Yeah.
I like that as a secondary. In, first, know your shit.
Exactly.
Advise clients, do a great job as far as like explaining market to their specific circumstance for that sell, and the best way you feel to approach that market, and advising them on being as successful as possible.
100%.
After that, yeah, create a great experience, right? Like, we had a client the other day, man. He's a super awesome dude, right? And he forgot to do something in the house, and I was like, hey, man, all good. That's why I'm here. Like, we go over there, we run over there, we do it, and I leave him like some lifesavers or some gummy bears and some beef jerky on his pillow, like something stupid. And I'm like, hey, sorry about your long day, sweetie pie. Here's some snacks. And he's like, haha, you're funny, bitch. Like, just being funny, but I'm still showing him I care. But this comes after like advisement, right? Like, because what you can't do, and what I want people to be careful with what you're saying is, no, you can't just bring people cupcakes and like, now you're awesome and like that's valuable, but you're shitty at your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Analogy
that's
for
par.
you.
That's par, right? Like, being good at your shit. That it's not, but it should be baseline.
It's not par. 2 complaints. No, 1 complaint. Not a complaint. 1 complaint. Complaint.
Or comment.
1 analogy. Complaint. 4 realtors. Listen, flat rate companies are our fault. Yes. If you don't like them and you don't like working with them, and because most realtors think like, well, they literally crapped on all of us and said we're not worth a damn dime, and we're gonna go out here and do it for this much cheaper. So like, realtors just don't like him. Okay, I'm impartial. I don't get emotional about business for the most part, unless I'm killing Eli. But what I do understand is like, look, if realtors were prepared and professional and did a great job at everything they did at scale, flat rate companies wouldn't exist. They would not exist. Period. They just wouldn't, right? Second thing about a good job. I got a haircut one time. I won't say what place it was. I go in, and they're super nice to me. Hey, how's it going? What's your favorite football team? Football is like the brown thing in the grass.
Got you.
Got it, right?
Yeah.
Hope people know what I mean. Eli doesn't know football if you're just now tuning in. No, he knows. I'm being funny. Hey, what's your favorite football team? And I'm like, yeah, Broncos, whatever. Cool. They give me an apron. It's got the Broncos on it. Hey, they sit me by the TV. Oh, hey, we'll put your stuff in this little locker. That look, it's like atmospheric. It's like, cool. You get your little Bronco apron, and the girls got the football on the TV, and cool, right? My haircut was shit. It was the worst fate I ever had. I was still in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I was still in the Marine Corps. I'm leaving, and I'm speechless. And thank God. And all of you military veterans out there, you know what's up. When you see like an Asian lady, you know what's up. She's going to hook you up. Because a lot of them like married military men.
Yeah.
And they were like Asians with like, I've never been stationed in like an Asian base, but a lot of like Asians overseas in like Okinawa, Japan, like that's how they get employment. They learn how to cut hair, and they're barbers, and they work on base. But then some of those girls marry military men, and they end up coming back to America, whatever. Long story. The point is, those of my vets, when you see like a Hispanic chick in Southern California or anywhere else, you see like an Asian lady walking around a barbershop, like that's your chick. My chick, not that it matters. a huskier white lady, super nice lady. I'm just describing the scene.
Go ahead.
Describing the scene.
Just laughing.
Terrible. Worst fade of my life. One, I was pissed off because it was clear I might have been your first fade. Or I'm your first couple to where, like, you know when you're barely good at something to where, like, if you skip a step, you don't know how to fix it?
Yeah.
I think she, like, started with, like, the wrong number, and then just didn't know how to combat that because she wwent out of order.
Yeah.
And the second you go out of order on something you don't really know, it screws it up. Dude, I was speechless. And literally as I'm walking out, that Filipino lady, like, I'm assuming she's Filipino, she, like, walked in and she's like, "You okay, honey?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Hey, I don't mean to be rude. I can't go back on base like this. Like, if I show up with a haircut like this Monday morning, I'm in trouble."
That bad?
Dude, you'll get in trouble.
Yeah,
like, if you
bad.
don't get your haircut or your haircut looks like shit,
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you just cut all your hair off? Like, why would you show up with a fade that's that inappropriate to the point where it's distracting?
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Nope, it's okay. Hey, I got you," right? So she throws me back in her booth and done. Good. Awesome. My point is, they were so worried about, like, the distractions and the atmospherics of something, which is great, but in reality, okay, the backbone of everything is, like, you got to have a quality job. Like, you have to have quality work no matter what. So yes, scale yourself and bring attention to yourself. Awesome.
Well,
but, like, the product has to be good, man.
here's the thing. You have to look at it like toppings, right? So it's like, if you just, dude, imagine if you were to get a bowl of, like, sprinkles. You're like, what the fuck? What am I going to do with a bowl of sprinkles, right? But you throw those sprinkles on top of a nice, like, sundae or something. Now it's actually like, okay, this is kind of nice. So same thing. All the coffee, all the energy drinks, all the little perks in your office and all that stuff, that's literally just giving your clients a bowl of toppings if you don't have any substance and you're not actually good at what it is that you actually do, what they're paying you to do.
Let me throw you lenders a bone. Don't bring me to coffee. Don't buy me lunch.
Yep.
Do a great job. Have a great product. Take care of a client super well. Manage their emotions. Communicate efficiently. Keep me updated. Protect your client. Advise me of my client. So if something's going on, I need to know about it maybe prior to them, because they might not even need to know about it, right? Like, that type of stuff and getting a deal done. Hey, now I don't mind bringing clients to you. Now I don't mind doing an event with you. I'm so sensitive about lenders, dude. One of the suggestions in our world is, like, hey, bring a lender to an open house. You don't always have to do it with a second realtor. A lender is a great person to have at an open house because a lot of people want to talk money. 100% agree. However, I am not going to call some lender I've never done a deal with, or maybe I've done one or two and I'm not quite sure of you, because if I'm bringing you to my open house and someone walks in and has questions and then we end up working with them, well, that's your client in addition to mine, right? You did the open house with me. I'm signing off on you. Like, I'm so sensitive about my reputation and my word. I won't even bring a lender to an open house unless I've done that, just unless I trust you with every ounce of my business, man, because we're referral based. If you do a terrible job, not good. And the two lenders that are in my life never brought me a deal. That's what's so funny, man. It's like, now I've ended up, I don't know, we've done like 100 with one of the guys that we have now, and he's phenomenal. And we have another guy we use, and they never brought me a deal. They brought me value. Here's my second bone, lenders. Stop telling realtors how to do their job. If you have to tell a realtor how to do their job, you are wasting your time with moderate realtors that are not going to do any deals, and you're dragging your feet and you're not scaling yourself as a lender. What you should be doing is bringing value by informing realtors what your job is and how that helps them and how you can work together. Don't tell me how to do my job. And in our industry, from our experience, a lot of lenders want to teach classes to realtors on how to be a damn realtor. No. And I get it. Well, brokerages aren't doing training, so we will. You will out of obligation, because if realtors aren't bringing you deals and you're not as successful, like, we kind of like rely on one another, you know, quid pro quo, whatever. But you're dragging your feet, right? And we see so much of that, man.
You do.
Versus like, hey, inform me what your role is. Tell me how you value your process, what your process is all about, and how your process is going to enhance my process and how we can work together and how we can grow. Period. Don't tell me what to do, man.
And like, that right there, though, like, so one of the things that we do that makes us different, that our clients feel, is that right there, what Will just described. Like, we are so protective of our clients, and we're always trying to shield them from every little speed bump and hiccup that goes on in a real estate transaction. They're informed, but trust me, we're handling all that shit before they're even notified, right? Before they even know anything is going on. We have solutions and all the phone calls are in place. We're doing everything. And the lenders that interact with our clients, man, we like are so protective over their communication with our clients. And just like Will described, that's one of the things that we do that makes us different. And I think our clients can feel that. Lenders that we work with can feel that. Like, it's
they feel it.
Oh, they do. It's so obvious, man. It's good.
Yeah, and we've had some people reach out and they want to work to us. I would highly suggest not working with me.
Agree.
If you are super locked
know what
on
you're asking for,
and you are a professional at levels of communication and proficiency in handling your shit, awesome. And I'm not bragging. I'm not saying I'm better than everyone. I am saying I run a super tight ship with the amount of detail and care and proficiency we provide clients. Don't let Eli and I's production of how much we do make us look attractive to work with. I might be your fucking worst day, and I'll be right, but I might be your worst day. And there's a couple guys you can talk to about that, with what it's really like to work with someone like me. But again, man, so
keep in mind he's talking about working with lenders, not working with our clients.
No,
the clients that work with
man.
us, there are little babies that we coddle and they get to nestle on Will's big old chest.
Clients are like my children. Not like age-wise, not in mentorship-wise. I coddle them.
Yeah, he does.
Clients are like my little girl.
They are.
Who's 3 years old.
They are.
And some 6 year. This is great. I'm imagining my client is like my gorgeous, just cute, innocent 3-year-old daughter. Okay? And then some 8 or 9-year-old punk-ass little boy.
Yeah,
who's more than double her
like
age,
Sid.
who's not paying attention, wants to run around and then knock my daughter over. I'm gonna fuck you up and your dad real quick. That dude, client, daughter.
Yeah, we need to
lenders who don't know what they're doing,
that,
and inspectors or people that don't like to communicate. You're that knucklehead kid, and I'm taking everyone down, and I'm being funny. But again, man, like we've spoken about this before, and why we are able to turn so many referrals. It is that, like, I'm joking, I'm having fun on the podcast because this podcast is our release and long form way to, bring some value. But in addition, when you're bringing value, you have to entertain. What makes us good at this podcast, because like that's a great thing. Like, oh, Will, that's a great point. You have to entertain. Mm-hmm. So are you being a smart ass on purpose? Are you being this on purpose? Yeah, but because that's me. So let's talk, like, for example, right? So something that makes Eli and I unique within real estate is like, yeah, we have a podcast that's not directly related to real estate. I've never seen that. The only realtors I've seen with like a podcast, it's super dry. Okay. It's like a library. Not all of them. I'm sure I don't see all of them. However, real estate podcasts tend to be as dry as realtors.
Yeah, where they're interviewing other freaking realtors.
Correct. Yeah. Where I'm not saying that there's not value there. I'm just saying that the only value might be to just realtors looking for an answer to something or tuning in. So I'm not saying there's no value. I do think with long form content, excuse me, there is a form of entertainment. Mm-hmm. However, man, even when I was an instructor in the Marine Corps, right, like my subject matter expertise was counter sniper operations. Okay. So when I'm teaching that, sometimes we'd have like some badass, like, Iraq or Afghanistan video or something blowing the fuck up or whatever, like to get their attention, have some fun. And then through the periods of instruction, you would like say a couple jokes or be lighthearted, be very similar to how I am here. And it's because I want the content to be entertaining enough to where it's easy to listen to and you're taking it all in. And if it's dry, it's just hard. I'm not saying it's not valuable. It's just hard, right? Especially like this with like long form content. Now, when I say the word entertain, naturally, okay, it's like some people think I'm funny or sarcastic or whatever. So I'm not telling you to have a podcast, but what I am saying is I think the reason why this form of content / this unique thing that you and I have going on is organic to what we already are.
Yeah, we have this because you are that.
Yes. And I think that's the biggest thing. So no, I'm not saying... Like, look, I've never even seen Star Wars. I'm not leaving memorabilia on someone's
we gotta do that
countertop.
We gotta do that.
But it's cool, dude. Like, if you're into comic books or Star Wars or whatever, like, there's nothing wrong with like just sharing some interest. And you did an inspection and got a couple kids in the house, and hey, have they seen Star Wars? Man, you got to look at Darth Vader and all these are, like maybe bring old school movies back to the surface of not just these brand new Star Wars movies, but like the originals, and things like that, or maybe like old Westerns. I don't know, but there's ways of just being who you are and allowing that to be captured through your business. And I think, again, Not everyone has something unique that they project. Not everyone has something unique. Not because it's not in them. They just haven't found it or expressed it. So, yes, I do think everyone, by default, we're all different. So, yes, we're all unique in our own way. So, the quicker you get to that piece in order to like figure out where you're going to accentuate that in business, the more you're yourself, the closer you're going to be to what's unique about you, the easier it's going to be to project that. And again, it could be a podcast. It could be memorabilia. It could be just being bubbly, man. Like there's some girls in real estate that we know of, and it's just their personality. People just love being around them, and they're bubbly. But bottom line, from what I hear, they have a good product. As in, look, when it comes down to it, and I've got to talk to you about the market and a process and how to prepare yourself for a sell and a buy or simultaneous, I better know my shit, and I better know what I'm doing, regardless of what makes you unique. And here's some like positive stuff if you're just getting into business, or if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur and the market is saturated and you're not sure if you should do it or not. Let me give you some super, super awesome news. Having a great product, believe it or not, nowadays is unique.
Sadly enough, it is. Yeah.
Fuck.
Right.
Yeah, like, oh, no, man, there's nothing special about him. He's just good at what he does. Shit. Like, and again, how can I say that? Well, flat rate companies exist. Don't tell me that flat rate companies would exist if everyone in real estate was locked on and prepared. You know why? Because these realtors that are mad at flat rate, they wouldn't allow that to exist. And you wouldn't have any clients because these flat rate companies would be so much worse than everyone else. No one would buy it. Like a bad diamond.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, market dictates market, man, period. So again, like it's our fault that it exists in the first place. But again, right, there's still ways of being better than flat rate companies, right? Like there are some things that they're missing. It's significant. You know, so again, sometimes, and it's okay, like don't overthink this. First and foremost is your product. Have a phenomenal product. After that, I think just finding ways of being yourself, because the more you're yourself, the more chances you are of like that unique piece to you kind of being accentuated, and like keep it appropriate. If you're into like red rubber balls in your mouth, no. Don't give leather strap-ons to people after you do an inspection. You're going to wear them out. They're going to call the cops. Like, I'm being funny. Keep it in perspective, but you just got to be yourself. Now, you're an introvert, but you're on a podcast. So one of my talking points for you today was like, you know, oh, you changed, man. You're different. Like people kind of hear that, or, well, man, I'm an introvert. You know, like we all kind of combat certain things. So in addition to, yes, this is natural for me. This is organic. You and I have a great banter back and forth. Our clients enjoy it. Our team, you know, from what I think enjoys it. Maybe they hear us too much or hear me too much. I don't know. But for the most part, man, we've been extremely successful with the podcast. And again, what we are was a good fit for a podcast. We didn't think, oh, well, there's a lot of podcasts in the world. We should have one. And then you suck. No. It was who we are kind of fit that. However, some of the traits you have on the surface might steer toward
one way or another.
You not having a podcast, or you not being on camera, or okay, so are you changing yourself by doing that? Are you different? Are you forcing it? No. But I'm curious as into like the success behind you being an introvert. You know.
So this is, dude, yeah, let me talk to that. So for you introverts out there, like maybe you're looking at somebody like Will talking like, well, yeah, dude, it's easy to be different, you know, when you're loud and can articulate well and you can talk for fucking days. Like, of course, but that's not me, right? So that's not me either. And I knew that I wanted a podcast for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I wanted to do a podcast for a long time. However, I know what goes into a podcast to do it well, which is one of the reasons I held off, because I knew I didn't have the resources to do it quite yet. Secondly, I knew if I were to do a podcast by myself, it'd be boring as shit. It'd be boring as shit. And the reason being is because I would end up being one of those generic real estate podcasts that Will mentioned that, who knows, I'm sure I could have done an okay job, but it'd be a boring podcast. I wouldn't enjoy it. I wouldn't have fun doing it. And there wouldn't be anything that would make me stand out and be different. I'd be another one of those guys, right? Unless I did it with like my shirt off or some shit, and then that might be something.
Well, you're phenomenal with your shirt off, and you're still on camera. So go ahead and peel that bad boy up. Yeah. No. Hey, you don't want. hey, buddy, you don't want me. All right, that's it.
So
shirt's coming off. Good thing you switched it.
I know I did.
That shirt off.
I knew as soon as I connected with Will, and we started just learning each other, I'm like, okay, here it is. This is like that final little piece of the puzzle, you know, to where like I've been planning this. I kind of know what goes into it, but now I've got the personality that I can leverage, right? And then we do it together.
There's just good contrast, right? So not that I'm daddy and you're mommy. Sometimes you're daddy. Sometimes you're more mad at the team than I am. Sometimes you're more stern than I am. So it's back and forth. But what I will say is, like, let's compare it to raising kids. There is validity to mommy and daddy. Mm-hmm. There are things that like daddy's going to do or mommy can do. And here's my thing. I'm not talking about, okay, dad comes home and does the spanking. Mom bakes the cookies. Like, I don't even want to hear it. I can already feel it coming through, right? That's not what I mean. What I mean is layers, contrast, okay? Like, just being able to communicate with mom, with Kate and saying, hey, like, yep, I already told Chloe this last week. Hey, if you see that, can you handle it for me? Yep, cool. Or just communicating. So It's not about dominant roles or undominant roles. There are some to that. Yes, if I yell, Chloe's more scared of me than Kate. Kate is a sweetie pie. Okay, she's kind of getting mad at you. She got mad at me one time and called me Mr.
Oh,
Mr.
Oh my.
Went on a limb and she's like,
goodness.
Listen, Mister. And I'm like, I'm about to be in real deep shit because she's Filipino, so she will stab you. She is crazy. I just think it's way further than I was. But yes, there is a thing of like, if I raise my voice at Chloe or I give her a certain look and I'm asking her what she's doing, yes, she does have a little bit more, action toward what I need done with a little bit more emphasis versus if Kate does it. So yes, there are some permanent mommy daddy roles that I see. Mm-hmm. However, it's not just about dominant roles. There's that communication. So with you and I, when we talk about like our personalities, right? Like when you say, yeah, man, if I were on a podcast, it'd be a disaster because you're an introvert and like, I don't know where it'd go. I'd have to get naked. Cool. If it were just me on a podcast, I don't know where that would go. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure there'd be some direction to it. I'd be running my mouth, but what I really like is that validity from a civilian or just being signed off on, having a different perspective. Because believe it or not, most that don't know me, man, I'm super self-aware and I'm super eager to learn and to grow. Who I learn and grow from, that's a different story. So if you haven't seen that side of me, I ain't learning from you. Mm-hmm. Okay, like I don't know what to say to that. Yeah. But I am super eager to grow and learn, and guys that I super respect. I'm a different person than when I'm at work and I have to be a leader. Mm. That's different when I'm in a platform where I get to go soak everything in, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. But it is nice to just have a different perspective and a different take on things. And just like you and I will go back and forth on a conversation here, we go back and forth at work. Like I'll be thinking something, you're like, nah, man, don't do that. And I go, why? God, because, man, they're humans. They don't care. Like I'm, like you'll give me a perspective and I'm like, yeah, let me just let that go. Mm-hmm. Let me pick my battles better because I'm learning, just standards and proficiencies of this world versus the world I was in. And just perspective. And so there's a lot of growth there, but that growth and that communication also bleeds into everything. So if it's in one thing, it's in everything. So it's in our comedy. It's
true.
It's in our banter back and forth with clients. It's within our cohesiveness of just knowing what each other is thinking and all of those things that weave in and out. It's like, don't get mad. I'm not a Patriots fan. I am a fan of their success. And it's like, oh, is it Tom Brady? Is he the reason for the success? Is it his hair plugs? Is it Bill Belichick? Is it, is
Tom Brady's got hair plugs?
I heard. I don't know. Gary Vee said that and he's a Jets fan. I don't know. He might be talking shit. Pretty looking dude. Whatever. The point is, you always hear that because commentators need material, right? Yeah. So sports shows need material. The poll said it's 60% Brady, 40% Belichick. Yeah. We're crediting an entire dynasty on two people. Not saying they're not huge. However, you're crazy, right? Like there's just more to it. And I think, when you're trying to put your finger on what makes the Patriots successful, that's hard. There's just layers and you might have two big pinnacle pieces, but their energy, their communication, their effort, their command presence, their ability to be a good leader, their ability to still have the camaraderie, even though they're in an authoritative role, all of those things bleed into everyone within that franchise, all the way down to the people serving peanuts and popcorn, man. Like, and they're just proud to be a part of the Patriots. And they're literally the guys handing tickets at the gate, people handing out popcorn, which creates what? A good atmospheric environment for fans. And then fans are proud because everyone hates the Patriots because they win. And then that makes them even more of a fan. And then you got that energy and that rah-rah and that support in the stadium when you're down in the fourth quarter and you end up coming back and you ride that momentum and you win. So I do agree that there's going to be some big sources, but then where does it end? And I think it's the same thing with you and I, man. Like, obviously, we're not the Patriots. You know, we're not even that big of a deal. We're just two dudes. However, that they're just at scale, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't change the fact of like what started it, right? So even though you and I are not the Patriots franchise and we're not that big, it doesn't mean that how that work ethic and energy and communication and cohesiveness between individuals, how that bleeds into our team, how that bleeds into our clients, how it bleeds into every piece of the process that we do. They're just doing the same thing at scale.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a playbook. We got playbooks. Okay. We got buyer prezos and listing prezos and client management and stress factors. We train all the time.
Yeah.
The amount of detail we go into a client process, blow your fucking mind. We got that. So again, I'm not saying we're the Patriots. What I am saying is I think there's a lot of consistent behavior. They're doing the same thing that started the same way. It's just at scale, dude.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of validity behind that.
There is, dude. And that goes back to how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? It's the whole package, guys, and how that's portrayed. Now, one thing I want to talk about, because we can't not talk about this on this podcast because it's been so beneficial for us. Hands down, one of the best ways to scale your personality and the things that make you different that we're talking about is through video, guys. Video has been critical for our business. If you're just to see a headshot of Will and I and not know who the hell we are or how we can articulate things or walk you guys through a process, I guarantee you would not be calling us. Maybe you would if you had a tattoo shop or something because you thought you might get some more business. But
you would think I'm some off-brand WWE wrestler and I've got like some little friend that's like a mascot that I throw at people in the ring.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys think we're some damn sideshow, I guess, if we weren't able to project. No, I'm being funny. I do. And we use photo, we use audio, we do a ton of different things. I love video because and we've had clients say this before. Like we've gotten referrals from like your side, right? Where I don't even know the people, but they've known you for a while and they want to sell or buy. And we've had good conversations and you're like, hey man, just want to give you a call. Hey, I'm excited for you. I know, we're getting next to these next processes and we want to sit down and kind of go over things. And hey man, I got Will on the phone and, hey, so, what, Mike, meet Will, and I remember, a couple of times guys are like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I feel like I already know you.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Everybody.
I love when you make fun of Eli.
Yeah.
Fuck, like, or just funny shit, but they feel like they already know you. Yeah. We've had that several times, and then vice versa, right? Like when we're on my side, I don't know if we've had anybody like say it as extravagant as they do to me, but I'm definitely a stronger personality, so I feel like people can't wait to say that to me.
Yeah.
My side doesn't necessarily say that to you, but they are extremely comfortable with you, which is saying the same thing, right? And I talk a lot. I don't even know if I give them the chance to say that to you. Maybe it's my fault, but
it's true. Like
I do.
And here's the thing, guys. Like when you talk about your business, that says a lot about you. When you talk about the client experience, and think bigger than real estate here. If you're in real estate, think real estate. If you sell T-shirts at the beach, think that. But when people see you on video and you're talking about the client experience and you're talking about your product and they get to see the passion like behind your eyes and the passion and how you deliver, like passion, guys, shit, that's hands down the greatest sales tool ever. Regardless of what you're selling, if you're passionate about it and you believe in the process and the product, you'll be able to sell the shit out of that thing. And you don't have to sell. You're just excited about it, so you talk about it. Other people get excited about it because you're passionate. They feed off of that. They want to buy the shit. So if you're trying to get your passion out there, it has to be through video, guys. It doesn't have to be, but if you want to scale it, I mean, shit, it's got to be through video. And the old school guys who have built their business through face-to-face and handshakes, they've done it. It just takes a lot longer to do, right? Through video, guys, you can shorten that span. I mean, it's countless, right? How you can scale that personality.
It's huge. And again, so especially like in business and in sales, we talked about how are you bringing value beyond a flat rate company? Or how are you bringing value beyond anyone else? Here's another. So one simple answer I gave you was, hey, on the bright side, being a great product is super rare nowadays. You might win by just having a good damn product.
Yeah.
Secondly, beyond that, sometimes even beyond a good product, dude, and I hate to say this because I don't want this being taken out of context, and I don't want you thinking that not having a good product is okay. So Not having a good product is not okay. Hear me out. However, in addition to being unique, okay, in addition to having that good product, people tend to gravitate and work with who they like.
Yep.
Sometimes to a fault, okay? Like, we've had people work with not so good realtors, and they literally call and complain to us and ask for advice and like, hey, help me find a house. Can you send me this? Can you send me that? Hey, they're putting the objection together. I'm not sure. Like, and I'm like, I'll never tell them to come work with me. I'm not going to, whatever. You have a question for me, I'll give you my opinion. And I'm not going to say, hey, I'm not going to give you my opinion unless you use me. I'm not that kind of guy. But they're literally loyal to a friend or a family member or someone that they liked almost to a fault because they're not a good product all the way to the point like where the client is feeling it. Right. So what I love about video, my point to that is the more you're able to capture your personality and who you are, the more opportunity you have people to get a feel for you and like you. And look, not everyone's going to like you. I'm sure someone's watching right now and like, fuck that guy. Fuck you too. Yep. Here's why.
Not our customer.
I don't want to work with people that I'm just not for them. Right. And this is one reason why we don't do leads. This is why we're very super heavy on referral base and building a book of business and we're good at it. So we stick to it. But again, I don't want to chase leads every day and call strangers who have no idea what they're walking into when I walk in the door. And they either love it or they hate it. Sometimes dude, I walk in the doors and people are silent. Like they have no idea. And it's not because I'm super huge. I'm not relative to a lot of dudes. I'm not. Okay. Like I'm a bigger guy. There's a lot of guys from the professional sports world or my SoCom world that are big dudes. Okay. So regardless of what the fuck you think, Eli, laughing over there. Okay. Like I'm not the biggest guy on the planet. I don't have the most command presence. I have it. Here's where I think it's heightened. People aren't expecting it in real estate. So when I walk in your door and you're expecting to talk to some guy who's selling your house or going to help you buy and, hey, we're meeting up for coffee, we're meeting at Starbucks. I don't think whatever you have in your mind as what I'm going to look, I don't think it's anything close to what I am when I show up, which almost makes me have more of a command presence and feel bigger than I really am because you're just not expecting it. So the more I can be on video and just give people a piece of who I am, the better off, because people who love you, man, and like you, they like you. And in addition, yep, I'm tattooed. Yep, I'm big. You can perceive me as a lot of things. If I'm on video, I get to talk and articulate and speak my mind and talk to you about a product or the market, and then you give me a chance to show you how articulate I am. And that, right? Like, because that might surprise you. Not because I'm the smartest guy on the planet, because I don't look like what you think that looks like. Yeah. So once I have a chance to articulate and explain myself, I think it does huge for me. Now, here's where it's even more fun. That whole contrast there creates a yin and a yang. And people can't quite put me into a box, which kind of creates a feeling for them and they like it.
Dude, you know what that does, man? That's a psychological thing right there, man. When our brains are always trying to take shortcuts for us, right? Like we've got so much shit we used to, not so much anymore, but there used to be like so many threats to watch out for. Your brain tries to guess what's going to happen before it happens, right? So that your brain can focus on threats. It doesn't have to necessarily worry about that. So what happens is your brain is on autopilot a lot of the times. So a way to stand out is just by being yourself, and like Will's being himself. So when he doesn't dress a certain way because he thinks he's supposed to, and he doesn't talk a certain way because he thinks he's supposed to, he meets clients who are not expecting it, right? And then their brain is automatically trying to put him into a box, and it maybe starts him off in one box, but then he says two sentences and you're like, oh, nope, not the correct box. And then he acts a certain way and they're like, oh, that's not the correct box either. And then your brain's like, hey, where the hell do I put this guy? I want to file him somewhere, but I can't. And so what happens when your brain can't file you somewhere, you become memorable. And then you can't forget that person because your brain is focused on that guy and you can't forget him. He's just memorable. He's top of mind. You leave that meeting and you're like, well, that was different. That was a great experience. I didn't
Dude, you know, a great
expect to go that way at all.
You know, a great correlation for that. A lot of us guys can speak to it. Maybe not millennials. I don't know about you, Fat. You might be in the wrong. No, Fat said something the other day. Hey, I'm not going to put you on blast and say any names, but you can relate to this because we were talking about someone the other day and you were like, she's amazing, man. Like there's just something about her, right? Or like I'm sure at some point when Megan was like, I don't know, I can't say anything, so I have something sarcastic to say, but I'd be respectful. Megan's awesome. But like with Kate, or with when you got married, like when you guys first, like that puppy love, or like when Fat's talking, how we've talked to him these last couple weeks, and it's like, man, there's just something about her, dude. Like, and then like your friend is like, what?
Yep.
Like, she's got brown hair. Like, okay. Oh, she's got a cool tattoo. Okay. Like, because he doesn't have that like connection to him. A lot of that same type of stuff happens in sales, man. When you're impressive and you're prepared, and you make people feel like you're taken care of, and there's some security there and some trust with your process. It's like, man, there's just something there. There's like that. There's just something there. And I think that's what you're articulating too. And like, they can't quite put you in a box. It's like when you first have that puppy love, you're like, man, like, there's just something about it.
You don't know what it
is.
Something
about him. Like, what is that?
Right.
Right. And then you get what I'm saying. I think there's just some great things with that type of contrast.
There is, man. There is. And again, coming back to video, guys, that's hands down the best way to get those things out there. To get your body language, your words, like the way that you just hold yourself. It's everything. And if you haven't done video, side note, you're probably going to suck for a while. Like when I first started doing videos for fitness and I was a trainer, I've got
really,
honestly, probably Will.
What?
Will.
What?
I'm talking to the 99% here.
Okay.
So the 99%. So I have probably 100, maybe 70, maybe 100's pushing it. Videos that I never released.
I'm cutting you off. Fat. Remember that one? He's like, hey guys, Eli here. Remember he's like shirtless, shredded.
That was one of the ones that I released.
Hey bro.
Yeah.
Talking about chest today. Dude, they were good videos, man. They were.
I've got a ton of terrible ones that were never released. So if you're like just starting off into video, be prepared. If you're just not comfortable, start filming on your phone. You never have to release that actual video. But
stop it.
As you keep doing it, some should not be released.
Stop it.
You know
Listen,
that. You know that.
I don't know. Dude, I'm trying.
Okay, so from someone who's always been phenomenal on video, Will, what is your advice for someone who's terrible at video?
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't always been great. No, I've always been great at video. No, I haven't. For me, I have. So here, let's take this off. It's not about me right now. It's not about me. It's about you. Let me be caring here. The reason why I love those videos, you see if you're emotionally connected to yourself, and we all have insecurities of our voice or what we look like, or everything superficial. I thought, like when I saw a couple of them, I thought the videos were awesome because you're sitting there looking at, oh, dude, I was like talking a little fast and like the backdrop is stupid. Hold on a minute. This is about you, so you shut your mouth.
Okay.
In that video, however corny you thought you were, what bled through is that you cared about fitness. Mm-hmm. Like what you were saying, dude, it was on
That's
point.
That's that passion part, right?
Correct. So, so this is why I say, guys, post your shit, man. Like, don't.
Those are also the videos that I did release. You didn't see the ones I didn't release. The ones I didn't release,
like
lighting's fucked. They're on
your phone.
No, they're like deleted. No, they're super.
Stop it.
No, they're.
Give me your phone.
No, they're like old. They're like 8-10 years old. So like, their lighting was bad. Audio was bad.
Okay, hold on.
Terrible.
Because now you're going to a whole different platform. I'm talking about you being insecure in yourself and not liking your voice, or just being uncomfortable seeing yourself on video when you first start.
That's different.
Bad lighting, stuttering every damn word. Like, no, you want a good product. Mm-hmm. However, if the lighting is good and you're organized and you've got some good things to say, and you're just not used to seeing yourself on video, not an excuse.
Yeah,
it's a good product. And the more, you might be surprised. You get one or two people that go, hey, great job. Like, okay, like, I didn't quite get made fun of. Like I thought, someone liked that. Okay, like, and now they'll start boosting your confidence, and then at some point you get to the phase of like you're just used to it, man. Like I know what I sound like. I know what I look like. If I like something, it's good. If I don't, I don't. Like you get more comfortable, but don't have that paralysis by analysis. Don't overanalyze every video you got. No. So when you're looking at like, is it a good product? Is the material you're talking about on point? Okay, like does it have good direction? Do you stick to your topic or your topics? And do you stay on point? Is the lighting good? Are you speaking clear and concise so people can understand you? Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, but my hair. Oh, but my makeup. Or, and I'm talking about guys. Excuse me. I know that sounded female. Let me be specific. Guys are 10 times more insecure about shit like that nowadays than a woman could imagine. Okay. You just don't hear about it. But when you start getting into that, it's like, hey, unless your hair's falling off, okay, because your extensions are halfway unconnected, or your makeup is completely smeared because you were crying for 2 hours prior to your video, fine. Okay, fine. However, if it's minor and it's just you nitpicking yourself, not an excuse, man. You got to get it out there and get rocking and rolling.
Here's the thing, too. If you don't like the sound of your voice, newsflash, you sound like that. So you might as well get used to it. If you don't like the way you look on camera, newsflash, that's how you look to the rest of us. So you better get used to it.
Well, yeah. And that's how you, and here's the deal. Maybe you don't like your voice, but everyone you work with in sales, here's your voice. Apparently they're okay with it. So roll with it. And you don't have to be perfect. Like if your hair is a little this or this, people are more caring toward the content more than you think. And guess what? Someone might be at home eating Cheez-Its in between Netflix and chill or whatever, not perfect, watching it, and you almost seem more human, and they almost want to work with you more because you're not trying to be perfect. I saw a real estate video today.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Right? Like, oh, and we're here, and we're there.
Yeah.
And like, like, hey, sit down. Don't smile. Yeah. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying, bro. Yeah, some syllables or, you know, you can smile and say some words.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I try to smile, I'm talking the whole time, it is asinine.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, stop being so scripted and like excessive with that. Just be human and say, hey, here's what we got going on, man. Here's why it matters. Would love to see you here. Be human. When you try to get overly extravagant, almost like you're, dude, it was worse than someone on the news. It was worse than a ring girl.
Yeah.
It was like a bigger smile from a ring girl, and she's trying to talk at the same time. Yep. I don't know if I actually got the address out of her. Like, it was right. So again, like don't over perfect your product. Like, and here's why. If let's say people actually show up.
Yeah, if that's not who they're getting.
Like faking in a relationship. Okay. Okay, now that I'm lying. Hold on. Because I kind of...
Here's a Will analogy coming up.
No, it's not an analogy. I'm kind of lying. Because I'm like, hey, you need to like be upfront and honest, and what you are is what you are. God damn it.
You're like, not for everybody.
No, it is, but I'm not being entirely honest. When I first met Kate, and we were texting back and forth and like getting to know each other, okay? She was a Mets fan.
Okay.
Eli.
Oh, God.
Mets fans and the Mets are a fucking disaster. They're shame to baseball.
Okay.
Listen, I didn't say I was a fan of the Mets, but I entertained her texting me.
Oh, no. Wow.
During baseball season.
For you, dude. That's a huge sacrifice.
I know,
bro.
but I was like,
God.
you know, trying to like.
Yeah.
I was trying to take her on a date and get to know her.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah. So. I'm kind of lying. I faked that I was okay with you being a Mets fan. The second we got tied down, I was like, hey, cut that shit out. Gone overnight. Like, dude, it came out of nowhere. So I kind of sandbagged on that. I'm being a little dishonest. But when it comes to business and sales, and I'm being funny, but when it comes to business and sales, yeah, who you are in camera and how you project yourself, like when people show up to your open house, you're going to talk like that.
Nope.
No. If someone actually works with you, you're going to talk like that.
Matter of fact, they're probably praying that when they meet you, you don't talk like that.
Or they're praying they don't have to work with you. I don't know. But like you don't always have to. So as much as like being prepared is a great thing, like don't get to that point where you're over prepared. And for us, like you and I do a lot of video on social media. If I mess up a word, I don't stop the video. You laugh at me for messing up the word. I fix the word and I keep going. Like people want to see your personality. So my thing is, to an extent, I'm not saying that edited video, I'm not saying there's not a place for that. There is a place for edited stuff. However, when you're trying to use video to capture who you are and you're trying to get people to relate to that and connect with that and have and reach out to you or feel comfortable with you, editing video too much can take away every element that actually makes you, right? Like we had some girls on the team that posted a video and they were saying something wrong and then one corrected the other and someone laughed and they were so embarrassed, bro. Borderline mad at us that they had to post that. And then 90% of the comments on there were like good laughs and like,
I love that part at the end.
Yeah, dude.
They wanted to cut it and you had to keep it in.
They finally got relieved and like, oh my gosh, because people just love that you're human. So again, when you're using video for the intention of people getting to know you and get a good feel for you, editing stuff out hurts you. Being overly prepared, writing a script for something. Look, if you got to script yourself for an open house, if you have to script yourself for a market update, I don't mind notes to keep you on track, but if you got to script everything, I question how much you know.
You need to master your craft more.
You memorizing what someone else said? Did
Yeah,
you
you
just
need to
go
learn your
watch
craft.
some lady from some title company talk about a market update and you memorized it? Fuck out of here. Okay, if this is your craft, you should be able to speak to it no matter what the circumstances are, because this is what you do. You bleed this. It's your craft, man. So, but again, being yourself is going to be that most valuable piece to being unique.
It is.
Creating something different. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be bubbly, but it does have to be you.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect. I like that. He surprised himself right there.
Like, God damn.
That's awesome. On that note, guys, thanks for listening. We're going to see you next week. Happy Monday.
Yes, sir. Next week. Oh, it's Friday.
That's
I
right.
said happy Monday.
Did you?
Dude, shameful.
That's just how much we love
You
work,
enjoy your
man.
Friday.
I
Enjoy
wish
the
it were
weekends.
Monday, man. 5 more days.
Me too.
All right. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank
Later,
you.
guys.